There's a pretty drastic shift in environment throughout the film. I was wondering if you could talk a bit about how the different spaces your characters are in. At first, they're very claustrophobic, and later they move to more open spaces, green and naturalistic. How that shaped your approach, on those given scenes, those given moments with your characters.
That's a really good question. The biggest thing that I felt with my character was that feeling of being locked up, being trapped, being kept. Was very informative of her outlook, obviously, and very, very sad. So then when they got outside, when they were running around New York, when they were, driving in the mountains, you couldn't help but experience that joy, that freedom, and I understood that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the exhilaration of it.
Yeah, Paul talked about the part where they're in the stream, they're kind of getting sucked in. It's this beautiful naturalistic shot, but kind of represents their psyche a little bit. I thought that was great. But also, there's this really, I think, powerful moment early on for both of the characters where you get the sense that they're kind of grieving the loss of who they were before they descended into their illness a bit. For you both, did you delve a lot into who these characters were prior, in the backstory, in developing that? Did that factor in at all?
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, we weren't playing an illness. We were playing characters that had their own journey. I mean, and were experiencing, we were portraying one part of their life, but within that we had to embody their whole life. And these were both very talented, prolific people.
Yeah, I think it has to be it's very hard growing up in general. It's hard sort of having the veil lifted on reality as you get older, and sort of, hopefully we learn tools to deal with them. I think it's probably doubly hard to have that veil be lifted and be told that everything that you were certain of, that felt so incredibly certain because you would feel sort of connection to the divine, is in fact just an overly lit up brain, and to have your identity then be just sort of boxed into something very clinical would be very hard. And I also think you would spend a lot of time kind of reflecting on who you were and trying to figure out how to get back to that. And as you know, you can't go back, so it's a struggle.
And the physicality, depending on what state Carla and Marco are in, depending if they're in their manic or depressive state, I noticed such a shift in their physicality, but also just their appearance in general. Could you speak to how you kind of conveyed that, brought that to the surface as well?
That's nice to hear.
Just the wild hair versus...
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a definite... we did map out the different stages of this, and the effect it takes on the body. When you're depressed, you're in pain. And what does that look like? And when you're manic, it's exhilarating, it's hot. I mean, you're free, you're light. So we had to be keenly aware of our character states of mind at all times, because it really affected the physicality, and we were very specific. We wanted to get it right.